Hola chicos, we're going to deal today with the Spanish se. We're going to concentrate on the usage of se with the unplanned events because there is a particular way of expressing that something happened and it was unplanned and you're using the se. You already know that se can be in Spanish used for the reflexive verbs. For example, se ve, él se ve, he sees himself. In this case, se would be self. Then you have another usage of se habla español. For example, Spanish is spoken here, so it would be as a passive voice se, but it's not going to be that se. And then there is a third usage of se, and that se will be untranslatable usage for the unplanned events. And that's what we're going to do today. All right, so the other two says either we covered or I'm going to record another video on that. So let's wait with that. And today let's go and see how it is used for the expressing the unplanned events. So has it ever happened to you that you have a really bad morning? That's what happened to this rabbit. Do you know how to say rabbit in Spanish? It is el conejo. Yeah, very important because remember, Spain possibly was called because of the number of rabbits that lived there. It's called the land of the rabbits. All right, so bad morning. The rabbit, he broke his glasses. He spilled his coffee and he forgot his keys. Really bad morning. So when you say in English, he broke, whose responsibility it is? Possibly it is his own. He broke. He is the subject. He spilled his coffee. Who spilled the coffee? He spilled the coffee. That is possibly his fault. He forgot the keys. Who forgot the keys? He forgot the keys. So whose fault is it? It is his fault. All his fault. He's sad. He is quite upset with that morning. All right. So in Spanish, we're going to see how to express that. But before, let's see one more way of expressing in English that something went bad. He broke, he spilled, he forgot. But in English, you say his car broke down on him. Strangely enough, you don't say he broke his car, even though it's possible. But you say his car broke down on him. So in this case, you see the person or the rabbit as the victim of the situation. Is it correct? But you see the subject of the sentence, car, that did something. Who did something? Car. And therefore, that car is the subject. The car broke down on him, and he is not the subject. He is the unfortunate victim of the situation. So in Spanish, when you deal with the unplanned events and you use se, remember that the person will not be seen as the responsible one, but it will be seen rather as the victim of the situation. And whatever happened in the sentence, that will be the subject, whatever item that gave him trouble. The coffee that spilled itself, the car that broke down, the glasses that broke down, or even the keys that forgot themselves. So you might remember that in Spanish, nothing really is your fault, right? Good. All right, so that is se. That is, in this case, not really translatable into English. So if we go back to the sentence about he forgot the glasses. The verb to forget is olvidar. So what will you need? You will need the verb. You will need the se that will not be translated into English directly. And then you will need the indirect object pronouns, very similar construct that we're going to make here, as with the verb gustar. Note that they are the same indirect object pronouns. Me, to me, te, to you, le, to him, to her, or to you, sir, or to you, madam, formally, to us, to you, plural, used only in Spain, or to you, plural, or to them. It is the indirect object. All right, so you want to see he forgot his glasses. So let's take a look here. You have the verb. You start with the se, and you use that se. Then you use the indirect object pronoun. Which one will you use? If it's he, you know that will be le. So it will be le in here, indirect object pronoun. Then you have the verb olvidar. And then you know that glasses will be, in Spanish, anteojos. Among other many words for the glasses. Anteojos, gafas, lentes. All of them are correct. I'm using anteojos because I can. Se, le, are they plural or singular? It is plural. So olvidar will be olvidaron. Why? Because anteojos, even though it is at the end of the sentence, it's still the subject because they did something. And what did they do? They forgot. In English, it sounds funny when you translate that the glasses forgot themselves and he is the victim of the situation. So in English, you truly will translate it as he forgot his eyeglasses at home. But in Spanish, really, you're going to use that construct. Se le olvidaron los anteojos. It's not his fault. He's the victim of the situation, and that's why you're using here the indirect object pronoun. You're using not translatable se, and then this is the subject of the sentence, and therefore it will conjugate this verb. Se le olvidaron los anteojos. That's just the article. Okay? So you could say also, se le derramó el café. Again, same thing. You have se, that we decided is not translatable. You have le, and that is the singular third person pronoun, to him, to her, or to you if it is formal. Derramó, aha, the verb is derramar. Derramar means to spill. Derramar. El café. And again, that is your subject, even though it is at the end of the sentence. So you translate it as the, if you translate it literally, it will be the coffee spilled itself on him. And if it sounds weird, consider in English you use just the same. Car broke down on him. How different is that? So why not? So his car broke down on him. So in Spanish, just that concept is used all the time. The coffee spilled itself on him. Consider this one. Se le olvidó la llave. Se, not translatable. Le, to him, again, third person. Olvidó. Why is it olvidó? Because llave, the key, is singular. So he forgot the key. Or the key forgot itself, and then he is the victim of that situation. Next one is, se le olvidaron las llaves. This one is plural. Now, it's not la llave, singular. La llave is it. But las llaves is they. And if it's they, then the conjugation is different. Olvidaron, they forgot. He is the victim of the situation. Again, third person, singular. And then that se, it is just to emphasize that it's an unplanned event. So remember, all of them are unplanned events. The person is always the victim of the situation. So the implication is those events were not planned. He didn't spill his coffee on purpose. He didn't forget his key on purpose. He didn't leave his keys on purpose. Okay? So you obviously cannot use that construct with any verb. There are some verbs, usually the verbs that deal with the accidents, that you will use them for. These ones are the most common ones, not all, but definitely there are not that many of them. Caer, to fall. Something falls down, accident, perfect example. Olvidar, to forget or to leave. Derramar, to spill. Romper, to break. Acabar, to run out of or to have shortage of. Descomponer is to break, but when something is more complicated than literal breaking, like the computer or the car. Ensuciar, to get dirty. Dañar, to damage. Perder, to lose. Quedar, to stay or to remain. Quemar, to burn, to burn. All right, so these ones are clearly will and can be used for describing the accidents. They're very limited usage of the verbs. Remember, you cannot use it with any verb at any moment. There are very few. All right, let's see if you can write down the sentences, substituting the English subject for the Spanish subject, subverting, so to speak, the roles. And it would be a good moment to stop the video, to do it, and then to turn it on and see if you can do it correctly. All right, so we'll see it in a minute. So let's stop the video. Let's try to translate the sentences in Spanish, not directly, but using se plus the indirect object pronoun. All right, so let's see. Here you have, he forgot his glasses. Subject is he. It cannot be he in Spanish. So the subject in Spanish has to be his glasses. Okay? So you need se. Do you remember that you need se? Excellent. You need the indirect object pronoun, and it is for he, third person, singular, so it will be le. Then you need the verb to forget, which is olvidar. And it will be conjugated according to the new subject, and the new subject will be his glasses. It will be sus gafas, because gafas is another word for eyeglasses, just like anteojos and lentes. So, se le olvidaron. Why olvidaron? Because this is the subject. What might be confusing here, that it literally is, to him they forgot themselves his glasses. What is confusing is the word order. This is the subject of the sentence. This is the verb. This is the indirect object pronoun to him. And this one is not translatable. Okay? So the next sentence, it will be, she ran out of sugar. Okay, sugar. Let's put it right away at the end. Azúcar. It's singular. It's not plural. It was plural here. It's singular here. So it will affect the conjugation. Ran out of. Okay? The verb is acabar. It's one of these verbs, right? You see it here, acabar. This is the verb, to run out of. So you have she. It was the subject. It's not subject anymore. It is the indirect object pronoun now. The subject is sugar, azúcar. So you have se. It will be the same le in here, because she and he in Spanish have the same indirect object pronoun, to her. Acabar will be conjugated according to this singular noun, so it's acabó. Yeah, usually use it in preterite because usually accidents happen once and in the past. So se le acabó el azúcar. She ran out of sugar. Can you do the last one? Okay, you can. In English, the subject is they. In Spanish, it will not be they. It will be the window that will be the subject. It still will be at the end, so la ventana. You know that it's la ventana. Okay, to break. You know that to break is romper. All right, so you'll write la ventana is singular, so it will be rompió. You have se, and then they is not, you need to substitute they for to them. And then you know that to them will be third person plural. So it will be se les rompió la ventana. Se untranslatable, les to them, rompió the preterite conjugated according to la ventana because it's the subject, window. So the window was broken and they are the victim of that situation. Just the same as in English, the car broke down on him. All right, I hope it was clear. I hope you can do it now. And if it was not, it's not a big deal because then you just will need to find another way to learn how to deal with Spanish Se. One of the ways you could write to me and ask me to record another explanation that is alternative, that is not confusing. I hope this one was at least somewhat helpful. Good luck. Go ahead, use se. Accidents will happen. You will need to describe them. And ciao, pescado.